I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett. Even though I had an opportunity to hang out with DK Metcalf this week, who I love and will start him through eternity, he's going to be drawing James Bradberry this week, which means a lot of opportunity for Tyler Lockett to go out there and really put up a lot of fantasy points for you. I know it's been tough. If you're a manager who has started Tyler Lockett week in and week out, it has been a grind because obviously on Monday night it was not good, but he's had at least 9 targets in 2 out of his last 3 games. The biggest thing, though, he runs 52% of his routes from the slot. The Giants have allowed 5 receiving touchdowns to slot receivers this season. That's tied for the 8th most in the NFL. They've allowed the 10th most fantasy points per game to slot receivers. And Tyler Lockett is probably one of the best slot receivers they are going to be seeing. So with Bradberry likely locked up on DK once again, I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett. I think this is a great play.
Love it. Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett. Get him fired up into your starting lineup. All right, it's time for mine. I got another wide receiver. It's my guy. Nelson Agholor going up against the New York Jets on Sunday. He's no longer memeable. He has redeemed himself this season now that he is a Las Vegas Raider and he has Derek Carr as his starting quarterback. Fire him up against the Jets, guys. The Jets have the 2nd most fantasy points to wide receivers since week 8. Nelson Agholor is still available in almost 70% of NFL.com leagues. He was only started in 18% of NFL.com leagues in week 12. He's had 10 plus fantasy points in 6 of the last 8 games. He's had 14 plus points in 5 of the last 8. Nelson Agholor is a good football player. You see that Derek Carr in this offense trust him in these must-win opportunities and situations in the end zone. We understand the upside that a player has when he can go and he can score that +6. Nelson Agholor is one of those guys, so this is the week to start him against the Jets. All right, those were our club dub, the guys who are going to deliver and be great. But it's time for club dud. These are the guys that could tarnish your lineups and your dreams of getting into the fantasy playoffs. See, sad horn. That's how you know. So Rank, give me your club dud player of the week.
You know what? I'm going to go with Ezekiel Elliott. And even though earlier in the show I was talking about starting Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott is going to be somebody that I'm going to be avoiding. This Cowboys offensive line has lost Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Cam Irving, and it's not been a good situation. Obviously, it was exasperated by the fact that Dak Prescott is no longer the quarterback. And Zeke is finished with 55 rushing yards or less in 6 of his last 9 games. He's had less than 20 receiving yards in 6 out of his last 7. If you're looking for some upside, he is the goal line back, which is nice. But the thing is, how many times are they going to get near the goal line against this tough Ravens defense? And I understand I'm a brand name guy. If you drafted Ezekiel Elliott in the first round, the sunk costs are there, and you're going to want to continue to start him, even though, he hasn't been dialing it up. But if you had picked up other options, if you have Antonio Gibson and some other good running back, maybe even Kenyon Drake, I would probably go in that direction. It's tough to sit Zeke, I understand. But the matchups and the situation with that offense is not great right now.
The sad horn kills me every single time. It's amazing. Good. It's like we go from the air horn to like sad horn. This sucks. A guy who I'm not scared to sit this week is Cooper Kupp going up against the Cardinals on Sunday. Now back in week 11, both him and Robert Woods had incredible performances. But last week, he only put up 6 fantasy points. That was tied for 59th amongst all wide receivers. Stop with the sad horn because I cannot focus because it cracks me up. All right, Cooper Kupp, back to what I'm talking about. He's had 10 points or fewer in 2 of the last 3 games. He's also had 0 touchdowns in 7 straight games. I think Robert Woods is way more of a reliable receiver, and if you wanted to start any receiver in this Rams offense, it would be Robert Woods. But if I have a must-win situation to get me into the fantasy playoffs, or I have a situation where I need to have good seeding and have a week on a bye in the fantasy playoffs, Cooper Kupp is not the guy that I'm trusting for that. So no shade. He's incredible. I know he plays the guitar. I met him and his wife at Super Bowl last year. Incredible guy. You're just a dud for me in fantasy football this week. I'm so sorry, Cooper Kupp.